Hi, it's Kim Boon. It's day 3 of GE 2025 campaign period and things are starting to heat up. Today, I want to talk about something I observed in this election. What's up with all the negative politics? Is it me or are there a lot of mudslinging happening in this early stage of the election? I mean, let's look at 3 of these moments and see how negative politics can go wrong, go horrendously wrong, and how it can also be done just right.
Before 2016, Dr. Chi was in Holland, Bukit Timah. Then, 2016, there was a by-election in Bukit Batok. So he abandoned Holland, Bukit Timah and went to contest in the by-election in Bukit Batok. He lost. 2020 GE, he lost there again.
So that was Minister Ong Ye Keng talking about Dr. Chee Soon Juan, chief of the Singapore Democratic Party or SDP. On the same day, we also had PAP's Mr. Alex Yam talk about this exact same thing during his walkabout in UT. I was initially confused because Minister Ong and Dr. Chee's sparring made sense because they are both contesting in Sembawang area. Why on earth is Mr. Yam from Marsiling UT GRC involved too? So I'll get into all of that, but I wanted to share a thought first. Many of you are aware of the surprises that happened on nomination day. Minister Tan See Leng's last-minute switch from Marine Parade Breda Heights to Choa Chu Kang GRC, the surprise move of DPM Gan Kim Yong from Choa Chu Kang to Punggol GRC, the Workers' Party not contesting in Marine Parade Breda Heights after walking the grounds for years, and that shocker of a four-way contest happening in Tampines. Do you know what's the commonality across all of these surprises? None of the parties involved came out and gave a good enough account on why this happened. And you know what ended up happening? People started to speculate and come up with their own theories. You even had the chief of an alternative party go to the mainstream media, framing it as a referendum on opposition unity and a betrayal of residents. The point here is, if you do not address the issue head on, someone else will do it for you. And even if they are not the authority on the matter, people listen. Because gone are the days where people get information from ministers, leaders, and people of authority. First mover advantage matters in this day and age, where information moves at lightning velocity. So why am I telling you all this? Because what happened between Minister Ong, Dr. Chee, and Mr. Yam, I thought this was PAP's way of controlling the narrative of what happened with Minister Tan See Leng and DPM Gan Kim Yong. At first glance, I thought this was a strange tactic because didn't Minister Tan, DPM Gan, and Dr. Chee all do the same thing? So wouldn't going down this line of argument also hurt the PAP? Turns out the differentiation that PAP tries to articulate is this technicality.
Then when the Electoral Boundary Committee published its report recently, he told Bukit Batok residents, again in the video, he said, "You know," I quote, "you know me. I'm not going anywhere." Shortly after that, he packed up and left and came to Sembawang West.
I think what PAP did was potentially smart, but also a potentially dangerous game to play. Highlighting Dr. Chee's perceived abandonment of Bukit Batok could be a smart play because the average voter hears this and goes, okay, this guy sounds dodgy, I'm not voting for him. But these days, I think voters are a little more sophisticated because information flows from everywhere. And information comes in consumer-friendly formats. A good example was a funny meme that I saw of how the PAP, SDP, and WP have all abandoned various constituencies. You literally cannot hide from your scenes. So by highlighting Dr. Chee's abandonment of Bukit Batok, voters will draw parallels to other synonymous actions by the PAP. So what would help PAP win one seat in Sembawang West could put a world of hurt on Choa Chu Kang GRC, on Punggol GRC, where many more seats are up for grabs each. So winning the battle only to lose the war, I'm not sure that sounds like good strategy. Actually, the detriment to the PAP is potentially even worse. As an incumbent, there is a longer track record of candidate placement choices. I don't even need to go too far back. Minister Ong himself did not compete in Alginate again after losing in GE 2011 and showed up in Sembawang at GE 2015. There's DPM Heng Swee Keat, who left his long-time Tampines for East Coast GRC last minute, if I may add, in GE 2020. And if your defense is that these are different because of a technicality that you did not promise to stay like Dr. Chee, I think that's disingenuous at best. and a dangerous game to play with voters who are that much more sophisticated now. And that's exactly the retort that the SDP delivered using Dr. Paul T as a proxy. Here's the reply that I found to be well delivered and with a good dose of humor.
Ong Ye Kung actually accused the candidate of abandoning his residence to go to a constituency for political agenda. Now, I wasn't sure if he was talking about Mr. Gan Kim Yong abandoning the residence of Chua Chu Kang, or my classmate, Dr. Tan Si Leng, abandoning Marine Parade.
On top of that, Dr. Chi also gave his thoughts.
Look, these are things that it's a silly season for PAP, right? When they find that they cannot talk about the issues, when they cannot talk about the policies, they start making, attacking the person. I just think that voters have had enough of these things already, and they want to see a good debate, a good contest, but on the policies, on what affects them. And what I said today is what affects them, cost of living. And tomorrow I'll be talking about the immigration policy.
You know what? This is a new Chee Soon-juan. He was calm and collected and just fell short of calling his political opponents childish. I don't know if you agree with me, but I was expecting an angry Dr. Chi, maybe even a little crazy like how I remembered him when I was young. But somehow, the PAP attack made him more human and he came across as an elder statesman. So overall, the negative messaging that the PAP has adopted in this early campaign, I'm not sure it's really going to work out as intended. Next, let's talk about the People's Power Party or PPP.
He doesn't respect any other opposition members. It's all right. We are small. But he didn't respect the voters and the supporters in Marine Parade. Not a single apology. Just excuses, lame excuses. This is what I have to say to Pritam Singh. If one day you becomes the Prime Minister, never, you will be more PAP than PAP.
So that was Mr. Goh Meng Singh, Secretary General of the PPP. And if we are being absolutely realistic, this four-way battle in Tampines is only in name. It's really a two-way fight between the PAP and WP, and how much dilution comes from the two alternative parties. If you know that you have no realistic chance of winning, you should step away. Okay, that didn't happen. But if you wanted to compete, maybe the priority would be to chip away at the incumbent. Because there's this thing called opposition unity, which Mr. Goh himself talked about just a few days ago.
In opposition, I'm friends with everyone. Definitely, we also have different ideas. Right? In this respect, we as a party, upcoming party, we will also want to give respect to the bigger parties, right, who have made inroads into Parliament especially.
So what happened between then and now? Attacking the Workers' Party will not help the PPP secure a win. Attacking the Workers' Party will, however, help the PAP secure a win. What is the thinking here exactly? But you know what? I love this response from Mr. Pritam Singh.
What I will say to that is, very short, Mr. Goh Meng Singh is Mr. Goh Meng Singh. Nothing's going to change. So I'll leave it at that.
So this is good advice that Mr. Goh should hear. Focus on your campaign, because in an election year where voters are concerned about cost of living, job security, and other existential issues, you are picking a fight with another opposition party. You are campaigning on COVID-19 and LGBTQ issues. And this moment from Mr. Goh's rally speech really sums up everything that is wrong with the PPP campaign in GE2025.
With further ado, I'm going to talk about policies. Later on, don't ask me about Pritam Singh again. I'm not interested in him. I'm not gay.
Mr. Pritam Singh is right. Please focus on your campaign. Next, I want to talk about how negative politics can be done right, at least in my opinion. So on the first day of rally speeches, the Progress Singapore Party Secretary General Mr. Leong Man Wai started his speech with this.
Today, I'd like to tell you what I've learned from my almost 5 years in Parliament. My time in Parliament has convinced me that the 4G PAP has really lost its way.
Now that sounds negative. So what's the difference between the PSP and PPP's negativity then? It's the strategic use of examples to support this negative messaging. The stronger ones I thought came from PSP chairman Dr. Tan Cheng Bock.
You look at the people that the PAP has selected to be representative of the parliament. Where do they come from? They come from the civil service. They come from the army, SAF. They come from allied civil service organizations. This is dangerous. There will be group thinking. To me, it is inbreeding. And when there's inbreeding, there is no way you can change policies within that system. For this reason, you must vote opposition.
So Dr. Tan gave us the what, told us the issue. He gave us the why, the consequence of the issue, and then gave us the how, vote for opposition to solve the issue. That's a strong and cogent argument that people can buy into. By the way, I'm not necessarily agreeing with what he said, but the way that he made his point was a strong and powerful one that voters can resonate with and take home with them. To me, this is a masterclass of negative politics. You should absolutely point out where your opponents have failed, because otherwise, why would there be a reason to bring in an alternative voice? But do it with strong examples that support your negative messaging. Now, let's revisit where I think the teachable moments are in negative politics that we have discussed. 1. Don't talk about negatives if you have committed the same sins in the past. 2. Don't talk about negatives if it doesn't add value to your campaign, especially if it helps your primary opponent. 3. Absolutely, you should talk about negatives when it allows voters to have a better perspective of what's happening and how your party can be the solution. That is the negative messaging that really adds value and what I want to see in any election. Alright, that's my thoughts on negative politics that we've seen so far in this early stage of GE 2025. As usual, I would love to hear your thoughts in the comment section. And until next time, this is our Red Dot Perspective.